You're watching KCET, infinitely more for Southern and Central California.
And Spencer Michaels and Gwen Ifill look at the renewed debate over bilingual education in California. What happened when California rolled back bilingual education? Spencer Michaels begins our coverage.
¿Dónde crees tú que vives ahorita? En un rancho. En un rancho, ¿verdad? El siguiente.
2 years after California voters decided to shut down most bilingual education classes, new test results have provoked a new debate. The scores show that some Spanish-speaking students have dramatically improved their English reading and other academic skills by as much as 9 percentage points for second graders.
Otra vez. What is the smallest...
But state education officials say test results for all students are up, and they say it is premature by several years to conclude that ending bilingual education has helped Spanish speakers. Still, the results are being hailed by those who led the drive for Proposition 227, the highly controversial measure that outlawed bilingual education in 1998.
Today, many immigrants work long hours, yet barely earn enough to feed their children. Unless schools teach children to read and write English, they may be trapped in the same hard life. Vote yes on Proposition 227.
The ballot measure, which passed with 61% of the vote, was designed to end classes where Spanish-speaking students were taught some subjects in Spanish, with more English used as they got older. That system kept test scores down and dropout rates high, according to Silicon Valley businessman Ron Unz, who wrote the ballot measure.
The reason they're doing so badly is they don't learn how to read or write English properly in the schools, since the schools don't teach them English at a young age.
The new law directed schools to place students with limited English proficiency into classes where English is the only language spoken, so-called English immersion.
So I'm going to give you a hard one because you're the second graders. Okay. Measure. Remember we measure how tall we are over there?
Nearly half the nation's children who are not proficient in English live in California, about 1.4 million. So California's experience with eliminating bilingual education was watched closely.
Good job, Altagracia.
Even after Proposition 227 passed, many educators continued to argue that bilingual education was much more effective than English immersion. They said if it were eliminated, test scores would drop even lower. Berkeley Superintendent McLaughlin.
Actually, there's overwhelming evidence throughout the nation that teaching reading in the student's native language is definitely in the best interest of that student.
But today, statewide, 90% of limited English students are in immersion classes, and the new test scores show those students have improved, especially in the early grades, where scores went up 3 to 5 points in reading and 5 to 7 points in math over 2 years.
So either way, these two pieces are going to make 7, right? Now what do I do?
Skeptics, including state education officials, are not convinced. They say smaller classes and increased spending may account for the fact that the results for all students are up. They say it's too early to tell the true impact of English immersion, and they emphasize that even with the increases, the scores of non-English speakers remain abysmally low. They say the gap between English speakers and non-English speakers is as wide as ever.
Gwen Ifill takes it from there. So, is bilingual education dead? Joining us to discuss the California experience are 2 school superintendents who have witnessed it. Ken Noonan of the Oceanside School District north of San Diego helped create the California Association of Bilingual Educators 30 years ago. He now believes English immersion is working. McLaughlin of the Berkeley School District, who we just met in Spencer Michaels' piece, says students can still be best taught in their native language. Welcome, gentlemen. Mr. Noonan, when Proposition 227 passed 2 years ago, you were among those saying that this would be a step back. You've apparently changed your mind.
I have, and that's been based on experience. 2 kinds. One is the test scores of our Spanish-speaking children, especially the primary grades, have dramatically risen. And the second is visiting classrooms over 2 years and asking children to read to me and explain to me what they've read indicate that Children are learning to read English, and read it well, much earlier than I ever thought they could.
Why is it that you were opposed to it originally?
I've been an advocate of bilingual education for a long time. I was a teacher in bilingual education and a manager, and helped form an association to support teachers, and that advocacy has been strong, even though I've suspected for a long time that there were some flaws that we were not fixing, such as the length of time that many children were spending, in our case, in Spanish instruction versus moving to English.
Mr. McLaughlin, what has your experience been?
Well, my experience has been in Berkeley School District, working with students in schools for over 27 years as a superintendent, and really developing techniques, methodologies to provide maximum achievement for all students. So it's not just limited to students that don't speak English, but all students in all ways.
But you don't think that English immersion has been working?
Oh, I'm really pleased. And I want to commend Ken for the great rise in test scores. That's fantastic. The whole state has pulled together through reforms, through the efforts of our teachers, all working together to make education better for everyone. But as far as, is it working? Yes, it is working, but so are many outstanding bilingual programs throughout the state. The test scores from the bilingual programs that we have meet or exceed all those in the English immersion classes, so we're very proud of them too.
So the test scores in Berkeley, have they reflected the same kind of improvement that they have in Oceanside?
Oh, well, actually, our scores started out and are higher than those in Oceanside for whatever reason. But we have seen improvement, and we're looking for more.
So what is the point in bilingual education if English immersion works so well?
No, the point is our goals are not only to have our children speak English fluently, but also have access to the learning curriculum from the first day of school. And at the end of the program, as the program transitions into middle school, to not only be fluent in English, but fluent in a foreign language, Spanish in this case, be biliterate, bilingual, and we feel that the citizens of today in this world need more than just one language. So we're very proud of our program. It is successful, and it works for us.